Hi, my name's Kira McKibben and I'm a Customer Success Manager at Freshworks. Today I'm here with Brian and John from Brooke and Eddie from Pink Elephant, and we'll be talking about Brooke's experience using Freshservice, Freshworks' cloud-based ITSM tool, and how the tool has been supporting them remote working during COVID-19. Guys, do you want to start by introducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Brian Lake and I am the Head of Information Services for Brooke.
Hi, I'm Eddie Potts, the Principal Consultant within Pink Elephant. So we've been helping the Brooke on their IT service management journey for the last 2 years.
Hi, I'm John Whitford. I look after infrastructure projects and BAU for Brooke.
Brian, could you give us an overview of Brooke?
Brooke is an international equine welfare organization. Its mission is to better the welfare of working equids, donkeys and horses in over a dozen countries, mostly focusing on Asia, Africa, and Central America. And what we do is we provide skills, development, training to individuals in different countries so that they can better the welfare of animals and, most importantly, the people who work with them.
And Brian, can you tell us how long you've been a Freshservice customer and how many agents you have on the system?
We've been a customer for about 3 years now, and we have an excess of 50 agents on the system.
And what's your Freshservice use case and some of the key benefits you've seen since using the tool?
Well, our initial case was we needed to move from ad hoc working practices, mostly email and in-person help, to a managed service provision. And what we needed was in a scenario where we identified against a standard, in this case, ISO 20000 or the ITIL framework for service management. So we needed to find some way of implementing this that was affordable and was flexible to our needs as a smaller organization. So Freshservice was the ideal candidate in that it allowed us to adopt incrementally parts of the service management framework and gain experience with the initial stages of that. And as the organization became more comfortable with it, we could scale up and increase our involvement and our agent count. So that was the real benefit to Freshservice in that case, was the ability to basically enable the core mission for our IT service department, which was to professionalize our service, to institutionalize it, and make the customer have a predictable relationship with us as a service-facing part of the organization.
Great. And how would you say that relationship has been affected by moving to remote working?
Well, we had always had a vision of remote working, of detaching ourselves from the office. So we had spent several years planning for service management in the truest sense, in that it didn't matter where you were, you could avail of the service anywhere. But that meant that you had to have well-defined services and you had to have well-defined processes for implementing them. So when we moved to remote working, we were in an advantageous position in that we've given several years of thought to how we wanted to offer a service, how the customer interacted with us, and how we track our progress and improve it as we go along. So when we moved to remote working, we were really well prepared, to the extent that the customer hardly noticed a difference. It was no different to request a service from home than it would to be than if you were in the office. So from their perspective, the transition was largely seamless, and we moved quite smoothly with very little interruption into a working from home environment.
That's really great to hear. And John and Eddie, are there any standout features in Freshservice that have made this transition easier for you?
Well, a big one for us is the asset management. So with the current situation, it's much more important to be able to keep track of things. The difference between what we used to use for asset management and what we're using now is huge. So we've got assets now that we may not see for months at a time. and we can keep track of them and assign responsibility for them.
In addition, we've obviously needed to adapt and adopt processes, or new service items, new ways of working, and Freshservice is very easy to work with, to develop, and also to share with customers in terms of to enable co-development and collaboration.
Great. And are there any other tools that you're using at Brooke that are helping you foster better collaboration?
Well, we have a suite of tools, and we integrate with Freshservice as much as we can. So Skype for Business is used for ticket support and logging conversations against a ticket. We use Zoom quite extensively, which is also integrated with Freshservice. We use DocuSign to assist with onboarding and supplier management, which is again integrated with Freshservice. And the rest of the tools are part of the standard suite. We use Alfresco, which is a document collaboration tool, and Basecamp, which is our project management tool. We're also investigating Fresh Release because we want to have change and release management. And there's the potential for agile project management and working using Fresh Release.
We're increasingly looking to actually integrate tooling. So Brian mentioned DocuSign, which again links with remote working, so we physically don't need to sign and store contracts, but equally we're looking currently at integrating with Power BI to better understand the data.
Great. And do you guys have any top tips you can share with other organizations who are responding to this remote working challenge?
Well, the first thing I would think to say to an organization when preparing for how they deliver IT is essentially, it's not so much about the tool. The tool is not the end in and of itself. It is about you as an organization, how you want to offer your service to an organization. The benefit of Freshservice is that when you know what you want to offer, Freshservice offers you a framework for implementing that. Freshservice is an enabler of the goals you want to achieve. So if you've decided you want to approach service management and you want to have a structured approach, the difficulty has always been how you implement that and how you maintain that, and then once you've done that, how you continuously improve it. So if it's a daunting prospect in and of itself, but if you engage with Freshservice, they will be in a position to help you get on the first step, build confidence with other stakeholders in the organization, and then increase the maturity. Often it can be a lot to take on at once, but the benefit of Freshservice and adopting it as a tool is it allows you to take it one step at a time and build your confidence in how you offer service management. And beyond that, it allows you to use best practice. It's constantly linked to what best practice is in terms of offering an effective and good value service management function, and it's the tool that allows you to do that.
Eddie, do you have anything to add to that?
I guess in terms of your question, the top tip is, whilst our priority is to keep the wheels on, i.e. maintain service, we've also taken the opportunity to carry on driving process improvement. So we're still developing processes within IT across the whole organization. It's an opportunity. Okay, so our work profile changes. Things like, for example, we're understanding our asset management a lot better. We're working with, for example, our procurement and legal people to actually develop enterprise service management processes. So it's an opportunity as much as a hindrance, this business continuity piece.
Yeah, and continuous improvement is such a key factor of your service desk offering.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have any particular wow moments that you've had whilst remote working with Freshservice, or positive feedback from the team that you could share with us?
One of the really standout moments for us was our move to remote working during this crisis and the ability to respond to service requests. So essentially, people working from home needing minor adjustments can simply make a request for specific tools, equipment, or support and receive it within a day or two and have that tracked. So from their point of view, the support experience was largely unchanged. And that basically came down to the effective management of service requests and tickets. And beyond that, our ability to show our work, to show the executive that not only were we providing an effective service, but we could provide current analytics to say, here's how people are performing and how they're working, and even to dip in deeper using tools like Power BI, which integrated well, to say, here's how the division of labor is working during this crisis, and really show that we were not only performing, but exceeding our expectations.
That's really good to hear. John, do you have anything to add?
Yes, so our original implementation of Freshservice coincided with GDPR, and one of the first things we did was to tidy up or tighten up our new starter and leaver process. And with the remote working situation at the moment, it's now possible for us to fully provision a new starter. So that's including creation of the account, contract negotiations and signing, hardware provisioning, building the hardware and delivering it. And that's all without them ever coming to the office. And all of that is tracked within Freshservice. We've also got a fairly effective knowledge base, and that is now more important than ever, because we've got agents who can't necessarily provide support 9 to 5 at the moment. So it's important to be able to give users solutions so they can fix their own problems if necessary.
Amazing. And Eddie and John, could you tell us what your experience has been like partnering with Freshworks?
Yeah, so it's been great at all levels. So as mentioned previously, I actually work for another organisation, Pink Elephant. So we get involved in helping organisations select tools, and often a priority for organisations is they overly focus on the functional requirements and neglect non-functional aspects such as support. And our user case, my user experience over the last couple of years has been great. The people at all levels are responsive. They take time to actually understand your issue, to actually test you on your requirements to make sure it's fully understood and it's valid. And the tool's changed phenomenally since I think I saw it last 2 years or so. So it's changing at quite a rate. So yeah, it's been a very positive response.
Amazing. And John, what about you?
We've been impressed with how the developers have responded to our requirements. We've worked out what we wanted to do, and through a combination of us exploring how to use Freshservice and from support from the developers, we've pretty much been able to achieve everything we wanted.
Yeah, and I think at Freshservice we're always really keen to hear your feedback, so it's good to hear that some of that's been implemented and it really improved your experience with the tool. Finally, I'd like to hear from all three of you about what is next for your Freshservice journey at Brooke.
Well, Freshservice has enabled us to put in place a service management system that's effective and well received throughout the organization. So for our next steps, we already have begun implementing business continuity management, which has proven effective, and information security management systems, and they're all tied to Freshservice as well. But moving forward, we have also been integrating our legal department, our human resources department, our fundraising department, and several other departments into the system, and they've all become agents. So we've moved beyond a focus on IT and move towards a focus on service. And that will continue as we increase the maturity and the sort of process orientation for how we work. And the reason we're doing that is because people find it to be very effective, both in making requests for services and seeing how effective those services are delivered. So that is where Freshservice will carry on as being the basis for how we both define and improve our services for the coming years.
Great. Eddie, what about you?
Yeah, so there's a continual drive, to institutionalize knowledge and to define and embed processes, and that's kind of obviously within IT, across the ITIL framework, but as we've touched on before, across the whole enterprise. So this isn't about tick box processes, this is about processes which are fully embedded into the fabric of the organization. So they're not reliant upon individuals. So after we guys have, our successes are in place, the processes will live on.
And John, what are you planning to work on this year with Freshservice?
Well, specifically from an infrastructure point of view, we're looking at implementing change management, which is something we've had before but never been able to do to the level we wanted. So we're testing it at the moment, and it's very useful to be able to link the change management process to the actual assets themselves. So we've got the physical and virtual servers as assets, but also the services we provide as assets. And it's good to be able to link all that together.
Great. Well, looking forward to working with you guys this year to make some of this a reality. I think that's all we've got time for today. So Brian, Eddie, John, thank you so much for sharing your amazing customer story with us. And it's been really good to hear how Freshservice has supported you through these challenging times.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.